so I was talking about community policing and accountability. Okay.
Yes.
Until everyone involved takes accountability, even like the community, in a sense, we can't really have community policing. The Antoine Rose situation and any like police shootings, I feel like it keeps happening, kind of like gun violence. It keeps happening, but what are we going to do about it? We can protest as long as we want until something actually has to happen. We have to find some actions to go beyond protesting.
Which leads me to another topic. I often talk with some of my friends that are in politics, and they continue to stress the importance of not only voting in a general election, but voting in local elections. So could you just really shed some light on why people should vote in their local elections?
People should vote in their local elections because, sure, president is great, but the president doesn't actually make the laws that you are voting for on a minute level. For example, like your income taxes and even the earned income tax, your trash, just the little things that you go your day and you don't even think about, like the people that are repaving and creating programming in the community. Your council members are supposed to be doing things like that.
Right. And if you're not engaged and you don't understand what their role is, then you'll just put all of your energy into the election, almost like watching the Super Bowl, but not watching the regular season games.
Municipal government, local officials, they get paid. It's not a lot of money, but they get paid. And so you should want to pay attention to what they're doing because they represent you and they don't have term limits. So they could keep getting that monthly check and not do anything sitting in their seats for decades. And it does happen a lot in municipal elections.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation before with a politician, and she was just telling me about how she doesn't get paid anything, but if something happens, like if a police officer does something that angers the community, then you have to ultimately answer for that as the quote-unquote figurehead, if you will. Because
I get all the complaints, but I can do, like, as mayor, since it's a weak mayor system, I can do pretty much nothing about it but divert the complaint to where it needs to go.
Right.
For $100 a month.
God, wow. Yeah, right, which is like at least 1,000 would be like, all right, that's kind of like, that's actually 1,000 would be great. Yes. Like you can plan around 1,000, but $100 a month for everything that you have to do is.
When a council member asked me to quit my job to be mayor, I was like, no. I can't do that for $100 a month.
No, not at all. Wow. Well, I really appreciate how open you are about that, because people really need to understand that none of you are in this for the money.
No, we're just doing it because we like it. And I actually asked for term limits and I was shot down by council because, of course, they got the vote on it. So
right.
They're like, no term limits.
Right. And in their eyes, it's probably like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. But it is broken.
Right.
A lot of the times in a lot of these small communities, it's broken.
So how can Black millennial politicians support each other better?
I just think millennial politicians should even support each other, because there's not a lot of us out here. There's getting to be more of us out here. Like, we have the Millennial Mayor's Club, and pre-pandemic we actually used to meet at each other's houses and just vent, because venting is also very important in these roles where, since there's so few of us, a lot of time the seasoned politicians, as they call it, they brush us off. They're like, what is this person talking about? Why do you have this idea? But in all honesty, we're the future, so it's kind of like, hey, when are you going to, you keep saying wait your turn, but you're not listening to me. But having someone that actually listens to you, especially from a millennial perspective, like sometimes we'll be like, hey, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to do that, and we use each other's ideas to navigate what we may have missed.
Well, I really appreciate you making sure that we know that not only do Black millennial politicians need to stick together, but all millennial politicians need to stick together, just because I think in my mind, obviously coming from the perspective of, it's black and all this stuff, I'm thinking about how we can support each other and kind of insulate each other in that way. But I like what you said about the millennials, because what I'm finding is that the non-black millennials, a lot of them have similar energy.
They all have the same struggle.
Yeah. So we need to unite more. And because we're not large enough to have like a subgroup of being like the black politicians are over here, but the white millennial politicians are over here.
And there's strength in numbers. So
right.
let's there may be about not that many black millennials that are in politics, but if we put all the millennial politicians together right now, we have a decent amount of numbers.
Absolutely, that makes sense, and I'm glad that you said that. But me, I'm the interviewer, so I got to try to throw you off a little bit, because you might not be running for elected office anytime soon, but you never know when you talking about your book on Oprah or something like that. She throw a curveball at you. You gotta be smooth with it.
Yes. Exactly. Like, someone actually reached out to me and they asked me to endorse them for Senate, and I was like, wow, that's big.
Yeah.
And I endorsed the senator for the first time.
Wow. That's huge. And I also saw that I'm going to mess up the name, but for a race, I don't know if it's state rep.
It's a senator. I endorsed Malcolm Kenyatta.
Yes, I did see that.
He's from North Philly, and I'm all about letting millennials have a shot. Like I'm all about holding people accountable. But something that he stuck with me is his upbringing was kind of like my upbringing. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I've been to Philly and I could see some of the similarities between the community. Mm-hmm. And he was against fracking. And I was like, that pretty much was a good point for me against fracking, because they want to frack at U.S. Steel. Mm-hmm. And we've been fighting against it. And hopefully it'll stay far away, because the Mon Valley actually has some of the worst air in the entire country. Wow. Not so fun fact.
Yeah. Remember when I believe it was CNN, was it Black in America, where I'm forgetting, but Summer Lee, I saw her. She was on when they basically I forgot Camu Bell. I forgot what the guy's name was, but the dude with the fro, the black dude with the fro and the glasses, right? Yeah, right. Let me get you right, brother. I'm not going to disrespect you like that, because I follow you on Instagram and whatnot, and I can't play you like that. Let me see. I don't even know. Okay, yeah, right. W. Kamal Bell. We'll just say Kamal, because I don't even know how else to say it. And let me
call him Mr. Bell.
Yeah, Mr. Bell. That would be good. All right, so check it out. Yo, Mr. Bell came to Pittsburgh, and they did a Black in America special where they were talking about things going on in Braddock. And I remember Summer Lee was really passionate about how there's a lot of pride and a lot of history in Braddock. However, there are also issues in Braddock.
We have for instance, a good example I give people is, I love this restaurant. It's amazing. It's on Time's list of places that you should visit in the country. It's called Superior Motors. It's right here in Braddock. Absolutely great. It's a fine dining restaurant.
Okay.
The average salary that someone makes in Braddock is about $25,000. Anthony Bourdain actually came to Braddock to eat at Superior Motors, and he sat down, and what was a little hurtful to hear him say is, he said he liked the restaurant, and he liked the neighborhood, and he said it gave him the Wire experience. Oh,
no. Yeah, leaning into a stereotype about an impoverished...
I had to rewind it to be like, did he just say that? Did nobody... okay. Especially to grow up somewhere. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't think that went the way that you thought it went.
Nah. and when you're coming in somebody's community, you got cameras, you got press, you have all this stuff going on, and you love the restaurant, then just kind of leave it there and don't really go into what you see around you in the community. Because honestly, like, I could show up at your house one day and maybe like there are clothes everywhere, or maybe it doesn't smell as great because you were about to clean but you didn't get around to it, but I caught you on your worst day, and I'm just making a snap judgment about, oh, this is who you really are, when in reality you're not here during some of the festivals, some of the community things that happen in Braddock, but you're making a judgment about the whole place and the people that live here.
Exactly. It's very interesting because so many people in the communities, they've never been to the restaurant, and the people that have been to the restaurant, they either can afford to eat there because we do get a discount, but even with the discount, people are like, why would I want to go to a fine dining restaurant for a little bit of food when I got a little bit of money?
Yeah.
And also they hire from the community, which I greatly appreciate, and we have tech companies that came in, and I loved creating the community day and helping with the civic plaza, and all these different things were awesome.
What kind of businesses do you feel like the borough of Braddock could benefit from having in your community that aren't currently there?
We definitely need mom and pop places. We don't need any more corner stores. We got a corner store on almost every
I don't think
block.
you need any more breweries either.
Our brewery is A1.
Right, it is, but you don't need
We need mom and pop places. We actually need a grocery store.
Yes.
I'm actually figuring out a way to solicit grocery stores to, even if it's a little market that sells groceries.
Where do you get your food from?
We have to go up the hill to Braddock Hills.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. And all right, can you please tell people the difference between Braddock and Braddock Hills?
Okay, so there's Braddock, North Braddock, and Braddock Hills. Okay, the difference I tell people is anytime you cross a bridge or a train track or go under a trestle, you are going into North Braddock. And the difference between all three of those places are the tax bracket. Okay.
But also,
North Braddock is a little bigger, and Braddock Hills has a decent amount of money.
Does Braddock Hills have a mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
And North Braddock also has mayor.
Wow. That's crazy how three places that are right next door to each other all have Braddock in the name, but there are three different representatives for it.
General Braddock was a person who fought in a war, and there's a lot of history about it.
Got you.
At the the Braddock Battlefield History Center is actually in North Braddock, which is mind-blowing.
Got you. Right. Very, very interesting. The good thing is that even though you're separate,
we all have the same problem.
Yeah, you all have the same issues, and that's why I think when you combine, like if there is, because when I think about, what's that main street?
Braddock Avenue?
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so in Braddock Avenue, like there's so much room for things to come in. I just feel like it's definitely not being utilized.
We actually, which I think is pretty cool, the former president of council, she created this thing called the Braddock Business Community Initiative, which it brought on residents, leaders in the community, and some business owners who were current that would sit on this committee that was created for when these buildings because they're all abandoned mostly on Braddock Avenue, when they become available, you have to approach this committee of people to propose your idea for this building or that building. And the county partnered with us so we would be able to do that. And it also works as like a stopgate to gentrification, just allow anybody could go in and buy this thing. And we didn't want that.
I like that. I like the accountability. I like the integrity that prospective business openers would have to think about when opening a business in Braddock. You can't just come in here and just like make money or not hire from the community and think that we're just going to sit here and be cool with that.
Exactly.
Got you. Well, I definitely thank you for giving me all of that information about what your job looks like and the things that you're working on, the things that have gone well, the things that unfortunately the old guard isn't budging on.
Yes.
But I really appreciate you being so open with us, because we need that, and we need to see young people like yourself and like all the other people that I know that we're friends with that are doing great things. So thank you very much for your time. And as it's become customary procedure for me as the host to honor you with a token of my appreciation. So excuse me. it is my honor to present you with something from me. Or what I like to call on the Devin Zoolander show, a little something something. Here you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And
can I open it on camera?
Absolutely. That's the goal.
Ooh.
Yes.
A wireless speaker?
Yeah, so you know.
Awesome. And we can never have too many of these. We're still in a pandemonium.
Right. We still in a pandemonium, so we need to make sure that we clean. Yep.
Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, you know,
amazing.
Just a little something.
I was just there today. I don't have these, thankfully.
Right.
The Sunwash Citrus and the Kitchen Lemon. Like, you can never have too much shea butter.
Right. Nope. You can never have too much. So
Thank
those
you.
are your things right there, and I want to
thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad that we were able to work it out. I'm glad that you have been someone who's been supportive and you've paid attention to what I'm trying to do over here, and I just really appreciate you giving me your time today.
I can't hashtag people to support their local artists without actually supporting local artists.
Right. Facts. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Devin Zoolander Show. And remember, stay moisturized and mind your business.